You can't actually know if you've learned something until you get some feedback. We provide feedback in two ways, with a progress bar and a quiz score. You can compare these to see if the effort you're expending is actually paying off. The site provides feedback in the form of a progress bar and a quiz score for each lesson. The progress bar provides an indication of what percentage of the cumulative points in that lesson you've actually completed. The progress is calculated as a ratio of the points you've completed to the points that are available. This information is for you to use in self-assessment and is intended to indicate the amount of effort you've put into the lesson. The quizzes are intended to test you on your understanding of the main points in the lesson. If your quiz scores are high, you probably shouldn't worry if the progress bar indicates you haven't done very many problems. That just means that you've understood the main concepts without a bunch of effort, which is a good thing. A lot of progress, indicating that you've tried a lot of problems, in conjunction with low quiz scores, is probably something to worry about. If you're expending a lot of effort and still not doing well on the quizzes, you probably want to reassess your approach towards studying. The quiz score metric is fairly obvious, but the approach used to calculate the progress bar is less intuitive. I'll talk about that next. The progress bar shows the percent of available points that you've actually completed. The number of points available in a lesson or unit is simply the number of points that could be accumulated by doing all the activities correctly once. Passive materials, like watching a video, reading the text, or looking at an example, are worth 1 point each. The points allocated to practice problems varies, but it corresponds roughly to the difficulty of the problem. In general, the practice problems will be worth a lot more points than the passive materials. Working problems is more effective than watching videos. Now let's talk about how we calculate the points you've completed. You get credit for only one visit to each passive link. So you can watch the lecture video 10 times, but you'll be graded as having completed only 1 point worth of work. Practice problems, however, are a different thing. You can get points for repeatedly solving practice problems. Now let's talk about some of the specific penalties associated with getting assistance. If you click on the hint button when it appears, you'll get a 25% progress reduction for that problem. If you give up, you get no progress points for that problem. Giving up can be helpful if you use the answer to learn, but it's not counted as progress. There's no penalty for accessing related materials in the Assistance tab. Finally, the point deduction associated with the Help option on the Assistance tab is dependent on how engaged you are in working through the help steps. Each help step is allocated a number of points. If you answer the help step correctly, you get the associated points. Giving up on a help step results in no credit for that step. So it's entirely possible to get full credit for a problem by walking through the help steps, answering all those questions correctly, and then entering the correct result in the main window. The way you use these materials is entirely up to you. However, I do have some recommendations as to how to navigate the site. The video associated with each lesson is intended to contain all the information you need in order to do the problems in that lesson. The lesson video is usually a good starting point. The text materials provide similar information to the videos, but generally contain some additional details and examples. The examples link is a good place to browse around if you need some clarification as to how to apply the concepts from the text and the video. These are all passive activities, and I'd recommend you not spend too much time on them before working some active problems. In fact, personally, I would try to get to the quiz as quickly as possible, since the quizzes are designed to let you know if you're ready to move to the next lesson. The ultimate goal here is to get through the material with as little wasted effort as possible. Your goal when learning should be to waste as little time and energy as possible. You can use the learning metrics to decide whether you've mastered the material and when you're ready to move on.